us today as Muslims to follow this understanding that it's not new. We're not saying the people of Jesus' time go to hell, or the people of Moses' time go to hell, or the people of Abraham's time go to hell. And the opposite is true. In fact, the Quran is clear about that when it says that these are the people on the right way, following the monotheistic religion, Hanafa. And this is what Abraham followed, this is what Moses followed, this is what Jesus followed, and this is what Muhammad followed. Peace and blessings be upon them all. And we can get a better understanding when we talk about this to people, that the whole concept here is one of just taking our time to go to the scholars to ask them what is meant and then give the proper answer. And as we said in another segment, by the way, it's correct in Islam to say, I don't know. That counts as a right answer. When you don't know the answer, say, I don't know. But we can find out, then go to the scholars, go to the imams, and sit with them and derive from them the correct meaning of what's being said, what's being taught. All of us, of course, are not prophets. And we're not even qualified to perhaps go out and give any kind of Islamic ruling. But we should at least be responsible to give the correct message. When somebody asks us, what do you believe? What's Islam about? These things we should understand. The difficulty may come in the English language, but that's why we have these programs. And each one of these segments is intended to present one aspect or the facet of the diamond of Islam in a way that it brings it about responsibly and simply, that when we talk to the people, they'll say, okay, I get it, I understand it. Now, let's go back as we started in the beginning of this particular segment when we talked about a person coming to you and saying, well, then why is it that you believe yours is the only right religion and everybody else is going to hell? Okay, let's straighten out the question. We didn't say that. That is not what it says in the Quran, nor is it what the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said. It was very clear at his time for him that he was talking about people who had heard his message and understood it. There's a famous hadith or saying of Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he explained to the people, if anybody hears about me and the message with which I've been sent, and then they don't want to believe. Now he's talking about the Jews and Christians. If they've understood this message and then they reject it, then these are the people who will be in the hell. What did he mean by that when he said these people are going to be in hell? He said because they're not following and they know it's the right thing to follow. It is not an option for those at the time of Jesus, peace be upon him, to continue to follow the way that they had before Jesus came if they knew that he was actually the Messiah. The Quran tells us that he was the Messiah or the Messiah. This means that they have to follow him and they acknowledge, yes, he's the one. And when they say that, then how could they not follow him? And this would be because of some stubbornness on their side, or arrogance on their side, or for whatever reason that they choose not to follow Jesus. So if the Christian can understand that, then he should be easily convinced that Muhammad did nothing more than the same thing here in this aspect, and that is to say the same thing. As you were following the previous messenger, good. Now it's time. This is the last messenger coming to you, and he's showing you this is what you need to do. And this is logical. It wouldn't be right for the Christians to follow only Moses, nor would it be right for the people of Moses' time to say, no, I'm going to reject you and what you have. I'm going to follow that which came before. I'm going to follow what Abraham had. Because each time that Allah sends a messenger, he makes clear what he wants from those people in their time. And with the culmination of all of the prophethood coming and ending with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah tells us in the Quran, real clear, that Muhammad is not the father of any of your men, but he's the Khatam al-Anbiya. What does this mean? It means he's the seal of the prophets. No new message is going to come after this. The Quran is going to be preserved until the last day. And if we understand that, then this means that it's not an option anymore to come up with something else. That we have to stay on this teaching until the last day. So this really makes sense now when we listen to another verse of Allah in the Quran when he says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون. And here Allah is telling us, all you who believe, fear Allah as He should be feared and give Him His rights. Meaning what? That you worship Him without any partners and don't die except as a Muslim. Now, somebody might say, well, I used to be a Christian, can I be a Muslim? Or I used to be a Jew, can I be a Muslim? If you believed in the message before, without knowing about Muhammad, then you come in and you understand his message, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you accept that, you're doing exactly what you should do. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us that those who are good in Christianity, and then they come into Islam, they're even better in Islam. So let's make dua and pray that Allah will guide all of us to be the best that we can be in Islam and help others to be guided to the same thing. You've been watching Lifting the Fog and Clearing the Misconceptions about Islam. Stay tuned to Huda TV for a lot more just like this.